So here's yet another short story about a guy who gets to have the last laugh and became this close to getting fired after his young female coworker got mad because he wasn't paying attention to her and give her that type of attention she wanted on the job and decided to, try to ruin him. And guess what? She has a history of this. But fortunately, our guy handles it right, and guess what? She gets fired. And once again, it shows you guys in the workplace, sadly, you're screwed either way. You avoid them, keep to yourself, do your job. They get mad because you're ignoring and make complaints. You're friendly, and I mean just friendly and helpful. They get a bug up their rear end, they make complaints. But ultimately, guys, you got to take care of yourself. Be prepared for these types of things. Have evidence. Don't have any meetings or gatherings with the female coworkers alone. Have witnesses. Have recordings if you can legally do that, amongst many other things. And certainly not flirt, joke around with, or do it out of your way. And they complain because guys don't help them. And you're going to see here. But before I get into this real quick, guys, if you guys happen to be on X, formerly Twitter, I'm now on X because YouTube is not helping me out very much these days. So definitely subscribe or follow my X account titled SSM Channels, which I'll post a link to the bottom of this thing here. Again, YouTube's not very helpful these days. So if you're on there, definitely follow and you'll see announcements for all the videos that are coming out and all that. Definitely trying to help grow the channels for that route as I build up an audience and you guys share it. All right, on to the story. He says here, the video is titled, Make Inappropriate False Accusations to HR, You Get Fired Instead. And a shout out to Danny for sending this story. He says, I work in the semiconductor industry and recently had a female employee who's 22 years old move into my area and I had to train her. Why'd you have to train her? Now, it's important for me to inform all of you that it's a well-known fact at work that this girl is flirty, inappropriate, and she's gotten several men fired and reported just as many to HR. Her file must be very thick. Well, if she behaves in this way and all these different dudes are fired, I think they can all get together and say, hey, there's a pattern here. It wasn't us, it was her. But we'll get to that. To the story. As soon as she was moved to my area, I could see that she was not shy with me and a little flirty. As the days went by, she became more and more flirtatious and very hands-on, touchy-feely type. You should go straight to HR. She has a history of this stuff and she's making you uncomfortable, screwing up your job. Go to HR. She would even say how cute she thinks I am, etc. I admit I played back with her, but never in an inappropriate manner. Smack! That's all you had to do. Give her some fuel. She added me on social media, and we exchanged info as she expressed interest in hanging out. Smack! Nope, shouldn't have done that. I guess one weekend she saw us on social media that I had gone to the park one day, and when I came back to work the following week, she was acting very odd and angry. It turns out she was upset I never called her and was acting very immature and overall just crazy, so that someone would get that mad considering we never officially made plans or anything. So she's stalking you on social media, you went out and did something that weekend, put a picture of it or mentioned something like that, and she freaking loses her freaking mind because you didn't tell her about that or include her in it. Crazy. Well, a few weeks later, the same flirty behavior was still going on. I ended up missing a few days of work due to a bad stomach bug. I couldn't eat or drink anything, so I missed some work. After a couple of days of being in bed, I felt well enough to look at my phone, and I had a ton of notifications. What person in this world doesn't look at their phone regardless of their sex? People could be on their deathbed, they'll still be looking at fucking Instagram or something. Well, it turns out I had a few from her being so angry. I left her on read, and she had tried to get a hold of me multiple times with no success. So in her mind, you're ignoring her, and now she's losing her mind. Well, the following Monday, I go to work, and of course she was angry, but I just ignored and kept working. Shortly after, the manager came up to me and told me to get my stuff because I was being moved. Oh, moved? Am I getting a promotion? How wonderful, manager. No, not that at all. I kind of figured that this and had something to do with the girl, but wasn't sure, so I asked. It turns out she told me that I had asked her out repeatedly, and she has turned me down every time, and that I've been mean to her ever since then. And she turned me down, and that I refused to help her with work, all very untrue. So she starts working with you, and the same thing happens to you that happened with all those other guys. But you were dumb enough to give her your social media, and you said, she was flirting with you, kind of go back and forth, that type of thing. Very stupid. And look what happens. She was totally lying through her teeth because she's not getting her way. This was escalated to HR, and soon after I got a call from HR explaining there's an open investigation on me for what the girl has said. He should have went to them when she was flirting with him, making him uncomfortable. You think HR would be like, here's Jessica again with her complaints. Maybe something's up here? I denied all accusations and told them I had no problem sending them screenshots proving this was a lie. So I sent them all the messages with her calling me honey, telling me I'm cute, and 3 days before her complaint in one of her last messages to me that she'd asked me to hang out when we had time off together. Yeah, does this sound like she's being harassed? No, she's harassing him. The last message I sent to HR was a message from the girl apologizing for slapping me in the face twice. She did this in an immature, flirting type of way, but I was pretty mad and never said anything, just kept the text. She freaking smacked him twice. After she made up the lies trying to get me fired because I left her on read for too long, I figured HR would like to see a message from a girl who was admitted to assaulting someone at work unprovoked. Needless to say, a couple weeks after the investigation began, she was fired and all was right in my world again. Well, I can laugh, but at the end of the day, this should never happen in the first place. And I'm no lawyer here, but I think at this point, if I'm this guy, I'd be reaching out to all the guys that were fired and see if they can get a wrongful termination suit going. Maybe a class action suit. I'm not a fucking lawyer, so I don't know. But clearly, this girl had a history of this stuff. And yet, they kept firing guys. And this guy would have gotten let go if he didn't have that evidence, all believing her. Right? I'd be going against his company. And from the company's perspective, we have to protect ourselves. We don't want any articles coming up in the news, the local newspaper about us, or national news if they're a big company about, this type of thing. It's a freaking mess. So again, who can blame guys for keeping themselves, et cetera, and, but regardless, he didn't want anything to do with her, and now she went after him. Now, it would have been harder for her if he didn't exchange social media with her, and he wasn't doing other things. One could say, okay, she wouldn't have as much ammo. Well, she would just find something else. All she has to say literally is, I feel uncomfortable, and boom, HR is on it. So much for the whole believe all women thing. But anyhow, this is, for women that complain that guys don't talk to them in the workplace, don't include them, all that, you get the point. You can't blame guys, and until it starts being equal, and it ain't equal, this is going to continue. But I say the hell with her, and I say that guy as well as the other guys at least who were fired, wrongful termination suits. That's what I think. This company needs to learn. And the ones out there need to get the fucking message. Now, he also included a few other comments about his situation, so I'm just going to read them, more details about her. He says, in response to various questions, he says, she might be. She's so possessive, it's crazy. Not once did I ever see her outside of work, and she is insanely possessive. Almost like she thinks she owns you. If you do anything without her knowledge, she flips out. One of her old friends told me that she went on vacation. While at work, when the crazy girl noticed that she was gone and found out her friend was on vacation, she flipped out. Not only because she didn't get invited, but because she wasn't notified that this was happening. Psycho. Another one. He says, yeah, she's a piece of work. She's a piece of something and it ain't work. Got multiple people fired. Not saying they didn't do anything because I don't know, but if she treated them as she did me, then it was instigated, and she decided to try and use being a female to her advantage. Dude, if she did to you, and you didn't do anything wrong, you really think that all the other guys weren't innocent? Come on here. I felt bad when she got fired for half a second. Smack! You shouldn't feel bad for a nanosecond, dude. Then I remembered that she did this to herself, and if she hadn't lied and gone after my job because I didn't answer a text fast enough, then this wouldn't have happened. And his last comment about her, he says here, well, the reason I thought it may fall under the category is because the message that then got her fired was not part of the accusation she made. When she slapped me, it was like two, maybe 3 months before this all happened. I randomly found her apology text when I was scrolling and looking at the times that she was calling me honey and sweetie. And when I happened to see that, I was questioning whether or not I should send it in with the other texts I sent them. Who cares? If he's thinking like maybe, it was months ago and didn't have to do with this recent thing, who cares? The point is, this chick was making up all this stuff about you and having no problem using anything she can and her tears and bullshit to get you fired. And by the way, guys, this isn't just getting fired. This is going to impact his whole career. He'll be known as that guy that did this or did that in the workplace. Think about it. It isn't just a job at the moment. And this guy is kind of, well, maybe I shouldn't have told him about that slapping. Are you nuts? No, you got to fight fire with fire. She got exactly what she deserved. But the thing is, she'll probably get another job someplace else and do the same thing. So I think class action lawsuit. And frankly, she should be arrested. She should be sued and all that because this isn't just about the company here. Anyhow, there you go. Good for him.